3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest SWISD? What is going on? Your favorite tag team duo is back in the podcast studio with you all. This is the Scoreboard podcast. My name is Brandon Medina. I am here with your athletic director of Southwest SWISD, Mr. Peter Wagner. Sir, how are we doing?
Doing all right. I appreciate you your description of the podcast studio.
Yeah.
Currently the custodial closet.
That's right. That's right. But we are here. This is where the magic happens, right?
This is where the magic.
In cribs, you know how they open multiple doors? You just need one door and you see it
What's
all.
bad is you open the door and you have to move the chair so you can get in, and then you got to close it so you can sit down. Yeah.
What's up, Southwest?
It
Welcome
is
to
what
my
it
crib.
is.
Yeah, dude. This is it. This is where the
What was
magic
that, MTV
happens.
Cribs or something like that?
Yeah, MTV Cribs. Not a lot of doors being open. Just one door, and you got to move a chair to walk in.
We're in a minimalist situation.
We're trying to take it one day at a time here at Southwest ISD. But, you know, what is moving pretty quickly is our athletics, and this show is all about Southwest ISD athletics to keep you updated. We have a lot to talk about. We have water polo, cross country, tennis. We have football starting to pick up. And then also we have just a little bit more information that Mr. Wagner is going to bring to the table for us. But looking at fall athletics, what is the differential from fall to spring? What do you think is there a mindset differential? Obviously the seasons are massively different, but aside from the weather, what kind of do you take away from each that maybe differs?
I think that the difference is one, we're not in school when it starts.
Oh yeah.
For the most part. So, and then there's a little bit difference in just you're not the hopefulness of the new year is rolling in, so everybody's a little more optimistic and ready. I shouldn't say optimistic, but in the spring becomes a grind, you know.
And you as a coach,
and it's cold usually and things like that, and now it's ridiculously furnace-y like hot.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that's some of that. It's just kind of like, hey, what's the new year to bring? And
you as a former coach and athletic director working with coaches, looking at it, was there ever a tough situation like let's say for spring sports? Is it one of those things like having to kind of get students reacclimated to like, hey, we're going back to school again. You got to come to practice, like, you know what I mean? Because in the summer you have a lot of the summer strength and conditioning camps leading up into the fall, right? The spring you go straight from Thanksgiving, Christmas, all these breaks, and then hey, we got to pick up gear once again.
Time to get moving. The good thing is that you kind of get January to transition into the spring sports to a certain degree, and those who are going in January, they've been going through all of those breaks. So basketball, soccer, those guys are all they've been rolling. They've been rolling since almost before Thanksgiving or right at Thanksgiving. So your track team started about the second week. Everybody starts about the second week of January, so everybody's kind of, all right, here we go, and you got plenty of time to get rolling into it. It's when you're hosting a basketball game, a baseball game, a softball game, a track meet, you know what I mean, and then regional swim is going on at the same time. That makes for interestingness because it's championship season. I guess the difference is that right now it's one group starting. With that one, it's one group's kind of finishing. They're in that championship mode, while the next group is just getting started, but they're all together, which is a neat time. But right now, everybody's just in that start building. We're just building phase.
Interesting. Well, looking at what we're building here, I want to start off with water polo. We've talked about it since the inception of this podcast. The aquatic center has opened up crazy opportunities for us. Water polo every year seems to be getting better on both sides. There seems to be more interest in it all the time. And I think as a whole, the community has really embraced not only the aquatic center, but the aquatic athletics surrounding it. Mm-hmm. What are kind of your expectations this year for water polo? How is it looking? What are the coaches kind of talking about?
I think that we've already had our first big showcase, and so everybody kind of wants to play here. So we had a good 16 teams from all over the state. We had one from Houston, one from Dallas, one from Austin, things like that coming down to play. And so last week was a good learning opportunity for a lot of our kids. We're still recruiting kids into our water polo programs. Water polo is still so new in the state of Texas, just getting used to the idea of it and and everybody understanding it's a team sport, just like football and basketball and things like that. But I think that there's some excitement around the Southwest boys and the Legacy boys, and the girls are getting better on each side. We had, the Legacy girls are kind of rebuilding a little bit. They lost a couple. The Southwest girls are the same a little bit, still learning it, and talking to Coach Moore and Coach Spainauer, both the head coaches. They're still learning the game, you know what I mean? And we still have some room to grow in like the club aspect of it and getting our kids to play more. It's kind of like basketball, everybody plays club basketball. You shoot at home, you do those things. We're still learning those things and stuff, but getting a lot better. I mean, you look at, I'll give you an example. Legacy was up on Reagan 2-0 in the middle of the first, and at 5-3 and at halftime, and that was a game last year that was in the 20-2, 25-2 range. And when you talk about water polo, whereas it was I think the final score is 13-9, 16-9, something like that. So we've made strides with just those that when you think about Reagan and Churchill and Johnson and those guys, it's both of our teams we've closed the gap and everything from people who've been doing it for a while.
That's awesome. And as far as interest, are we still seeing a pretty big interest level?
Yeah, I think that we're on the Southwest side. We're rolling with with a full. You can only have so many people on your roster in water polo, and so we had a full squad there. Legacy, we still could use a couple more and things like that. The girls' side, we're pretty close to full on both sides. But our goal is over the next couple of years is hopefully to build into having JV teams and things like that. So. We got a great middle school program that'll start opening up next week when we bring our middle schools over from 6th through 8th grade, try to get them involved and doing those types of things. So continue to work. And then, we won't see the fruits of our labor in the Quad A club range from swimming and diving we won't see some of that for another year or two. And so, but we have some youngins that are really good that are swimming high school times. So,
I bet. That's awesome. I will say, if you haven't seen a water polo matchup, you need to get out there and check it out. It's one of the
It's one
of the most unique, fun environments, and it's one of those sports where it's very easy to play. What do they call it, couch quarterback or whatever, where you sit there and you go, oh, I could have made that pass. Oh, I could have made that shot. When you watch water polo, there's not many in the crowd going, oh, I could have done exactly that. It's a tough one.
Most people are trying to figure out how they wouldn't drown.
How they wouldn't drown. Yeah, exactly. So it's really exciting. Moving from water sports to back on land, looking at cross country. I know cross country has just gotten going. They've been doing their thing. We had a really fun time at their media day. They'll be getting those pictures, and everybody's gonna be getting pictures and videos coming out here shortly for all our nice new video boards and all that. But cross country, I will say the team aspect, they seem to just have a really tight-knit group on both sides. Whenever we were talking with them at media day, they seem to have a lot of fun with each other. Coaches seem to be involved, and I think it's so unique to me because I look at it and I go, that's the one sport I'll just never get. They
created bikes, cars, all kinds of stuff.
Kids woke up and said, I'm going to run. And not just run. I'm going to run these crazy long distances.
as fast as I can.
And I'm like,
not just shuffle around.
And then I see them and I go, they're just as hyped up and excited and, ready to go as any other student athlete. And I'm like, man, the energy is insane. And then also to look and go, oh, right, you look at football, basketball, even baseball, softball, you go, oh, man, I get it. It's part of the culture of the sport, right, to get riled up, whatever. I'm like, you guys are just, it's you and you. You're just going against yourself and looking at a long distance ahead of you. And I'm like, man, it's really is something. And every time I talk to them, I'm like, my first question to every student I meet that's in cross country, I'm like, how did you get it? How do you do this? I know it sounds crazy, but goodness. But talk to us about some of the cross country things going on here at Southwest.
So first of all, I want to shout out to Coach Alvarez, Coach Arguello, because they've done an amazing job with just continuing to build these programs. Coach Alvarez has really taken the cross country team at Southwest to another level as well. Legacy was really carrying the torch for a few of those years with Anthony and everything, but winning a district championship on the boys' side and the girls' side and all that kind of stuff, going to state, those things. But Coach Alvarez took both the boys and the girls' teams to regionals last year. so just really big kudos to both of them. But right now, you look at the girls, thanks to RC Audio Sports, out of the top 15 times, so they have every school ran at either Kerrville or Floresville last week, and except for Eagle Pass win. So we have times from the first meet from last week, right?
Yeah.
And those out of those top 15 times, Southwest ISD and the girls owns half of them. So they got seven out of the 15 are Southwest ISD kids. So and led by Austin Walsh at Southwest High School with the number 1 time, and then Alicia Galvez and Annabella Zapata.
Here we go.
Here we go. You know,
the first mention of the year.
Three of the top 4 are from Southwest ISD as well. So big kudos to them. And then we got 5 of the top 15, with 4 of those being Southwest High School kids, being Roman Gonzalez, having the top one, Seth Griffin from Southwest High School, Jacob Singleton, Isaiah Wilson, all of them have one, and then Aiden Moreno from Legacy is in the top 15 for the boys. So big things looking at just on the team side of things at Southwest ISD for cross country. Excited about that.
I think cross country is in for a good year, and obviously, like you said, there's so many athletes that are mentioned in the top tier of student athletes here. And so I think looking at cross country, what is kind of, I guess, your expectation as athletic director looking at the season coming up?
I think that both teams having a shot at going to regionals is a fair expectation. And given what on the first week, I think that
it seems
Southwest seems like they got a good shot at winning it on both sides.
Sure.
I think they're going to have the girls, and I think it'd be interesting with the girls between Southside, Southwest, and Legacy, just by looking at what I've seen in week 1. That's going to be a pretty fun little, not having Medina Valley in there anymore, their army of runners.
Oh, that's true.
But seeing what they have, but the top end of Legacy's girls with Alicia and Annabella is going to be interesting to go with the top end of Peyton Elwood and Austin and a few of them. And I think Myra's still coming back and a couple other runners. So that's going to be a very interesting race where they finish at that district meet, and that's going to be here at Southwest. How you just that 5th runner passing one person, passing 2 people could be the difference in winning the district championship or not.
Wow, that's insane, man. It's I mean, were you a cross country runner back in the day?
Absolutely not. I said the same thing. I run. I can run.
Yeah, but, I know. Yeah,
but I'm not a fan of it. No.
Yeah, a fan enough to go. Let me run cross country, run these long distances.
Luckily, they run in the morning.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
the one good
thing.
That
is true. That's the one good thing, especially this heat. Absolutely. Yep. So we've talked about water polo. We've talked about cross country. Let's talk about a place where we also won championships last year in the district. Tennis, man. Tennis. We had. Both teams
was probably the most successful between of them all.
Both teams getting a matchup in a championship opportunity in a district championship. I mean, we're talking about 2 powerhouse programs, especially with Medina Valley moving out.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, you're looking at Legacy and Southwest. We're looking at another possibly really, really good year.
It's going to be interesting in district this year because we gained MacArthur. MacArthur's probably a little bit
so it's MacArthur
higher
and
level.
John Jay, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say MacArthur's probably a little bit not. They're probably top end like Medina Valley, maybe better. I don't know, but I know that Legacy's got a very strong team. So last year they lost a close match to Divine. This year they beat them.
Yep.
They beat Pleasanton 19-0.
Man,
they've beaten. I think they might be undefeated right now. But they open up with Jay today, and then Southwest has a big one right off the bat against McCullum and everything. And so the cool thing about I was looking at Sports U and things like that, and the Legacy kids have really bought into Coach Gomez's program all the way around. They were at a tennis camp in New Braunfels this weekend, a bunch of them. They're at practice every morning. That he's really built a strong program to where they got probably 40, 50 kids or more in that program. And so they're just kind of starting to reload as they go. And so with Southwest, the boys are strong, the girls are coming along. And so the key to Southwest I was talking to Roy the other day because Roy plays water polo and tennis.
Oh yeah,
right. And so does Nick. So does Nick Manzano. They both play water polo and tennis at the same time. And I was talking to them about tennis, and they're like, yeah, if they can if the girls can grow, they're young. If they can grow into it, then it's going to be interesting. But the boys have, I think, against Stevens we lost, and the girls are still figuring out, and the boys are killing it. So it's just a matter of coming together as a team, and then making it happen for them. So pretty excited about both of them. I think that a fair expectation is that both of them make the playoffs. Where they land in there, I think, depends on how good MacArthur is and things like that, and then where everybody else is.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it from team tennis to singles, doubles. I mean, they both are so successful, and I think you mentioned Legacy really does have a system in place right now. Where I know we went to go talk with them for our Beyond the Arches segment, and there was so many kids. I don't know what I expected, right? I mean, coming from when I was here at Southwest High School. Golf, when I joined golf, didn't have many people. Tennis was kind of like the same kind of thing, right? Just trying to get people in. Legacy, when we went over there, I mean, every practice court they had was filled. Every person, I mean, people were, excited to go and, talking with coaches and talking with the staff and looking at the players. I did notice a lot of them last year, in a successful year last year where they won the district championship, weren't even seniors. There's a lot of juniors and sophomores and people just upcoming throughout of the year. So I mean,
and they're playing a lot more. Both sides are playing a lot more, and we're starting to figure out ways to provide our kids more opportunities at our place to play more, because that's what it is. It's a matter of how much you play and things like that, and make muscle memory and getting those reps. And so they're starting to do that. We're getting kids that really want to do that. Our middle school programs are. I mean, we had two middle school programs that were like 1 point away from winning the conference, and things like that. So we're really growing in tennis and those sports as well.
And wait till that middle school program for softball and baseball kicks in this year. And, man, we're going to be seeing some growth pretty quickly as well. I mean, I think we're doing the right things at Southwest ISD the right way, and I think that's a big kudos to you and your staff and doing things for athletics.
Got great people.
Yeah, absolutely. And so anything else that you want to get? I know we got football to talk about.
Got football and volleyball. Volleyball is, like we talked about last week, they're working, and it's that beginning of the year where you're putting it on, and you're
finding
the
really
pieces
trying
and
to find the pieces out,
and figure things out. And so, Southwest went to North Side last week, competed pretty well, things like that from when they were going to tournaments. Last week, Legacy went down to Corpus, beat a team out of Georgia, beat Corpus Christi Miller, had a really couple close games against some really good schools as well. And then, Southwest had set point on Warren at one point, had some good matches there. But today, Southwest opens up here in about another 20-30 minutes in Pflugerville. They play Abilene High, turn around, play A&M Consolidated, and then they play I think their third game is I can't remember who the third game is,
today,
but they play three. Their pool is Abilene, A&M Consolidated, and I think somebody had a clean or something like that. But so they're playing teams from around the state right now in Pflugerville, and then they'll play bracket play tomorrow and Saturday. But and then Legacy's at the SAISD tournament where I would expect that if they continue to play well, they played really well against Lanier, beat Lanier in 3. Legacy Southwest lost to Medina Valley on Tuesday in 5 in a really close match. And so excited about what's going on in volleyball. They got next week, we got the Southwest ISD tournament where we got teams coming from all over the place to play, and excited about that. So, and then tonight is the Legacy versus Somerset at Somerset, and then football season opens up at home for the Titans against Jefferson on next Friday night. And then the Dragons tomorrow night take on Holmes here at the complex, and then take on renew a rivalry with Harlandale with the Indians.
Oh, nice.
And everything at Memorial Stadium with their new press box and everything. And so excited about, football season's upon us.
It is. And I think it's one of the most exciting things. And you as a former head football coach, are you ever kind of throwing in your 2 cents here and there? Like, hey, we should be doing this. Hey, listen, this kid over here has potential. You ever thrown in your own 2 cents about
Every
things?
once in a while.
Every once in a while here and there.
Every once in a great while.
You walk by and you go, hey,
I think
Coach
it's every.
Franco, let me see that guy get a rep.
I feel
one
like
time.
it's every once in a while. And Coach
They
Bruce,
probably
Coach
think
Franco might
it's
be
all
like,
the time.
shut up, get out of here. I don't know.
I was
but,
just thinking about that. You still
yeah.
like, hey guys, I got Boys of Fall queued up. If you want it in the morning, I got Boys of Fall queued up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some people who be like,
Oh my goodness.
I might play it just for you.
No, dude. When I hear it, I get mosquito bites all over, and I start feeling lightheaded. No, yeah, I think this is gonna be an exciting football season.
Dragons are picked to win it.
That I keep hearing it, man. And I talked to Coach Franco when we did their media day.
Big old bullseye on them.
I do not remember, and maybe it's because I was a student and playing with them, and they were all friends of mine. But I don't remember having the size that this team has.
Oh yeah, we've had that
for sure. But I'm saying like the 2 tacklers that I met that played for them that came through our media day, I was like, dude, hold on, where did you guys come from? Like,
did you not meet Chris Salinas?
Oh yeah, of course I knew Chris. Chris is the man. Chris is my boy. I see it every time I see him. I mean
he's not a small individual.
Cooper, right?
Cooper's not a small individual.
So was looking at it, Alec and Matthew Lozando, like our boys, like for sure. But I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I was just like, damn, these guys. I don't remember them being that big. Like I still see Coop and Chris here and there. And I'm like, I don't remember you guys being like that though. But it's awesome, and I think they're really really excited, and they were probably one of our funnest groups. Both football teams are just super stoked to do it. I know they, how the character is built and the culture, and so they're messing with each other because when we tell them for the media day, like, hey, scream, you know what I mean, like do a big like and then they do it and they're nervous because there's people around and you're in a small setting and they don't do it super loud. Oh, they're getting clown left and right. And it was just a fun time, man. It really really was, and I think both teams are excited to get the season going.
I think Legacy played and competed well last week against Vets Memorial, who's probably a playoff team in a really good district.
Yeah.
So excited about that. I know they had some things to clean up, but they threw a fade about 4 times, completed 1, but the one they completed was beautiful. I mean, just right over your outside hands and right in the end zone and scored on 2-minute when they were practicing 2-minute stuff, and they gave up. The 2s gave up 1, and then the 1s gave up. I think maybe gave up 1 towards the end. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think they really showed well. And then I'm interested to see. I mean, Somerset's always tough,
Yeah.
So
Hollandale will be interesting to see what they bring to the table too.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see the Dragons because I mean it's been a long time since we've had the type of skill across the board that the Dragons have, and the depth of the skill across. Yeah. We've always had 1 or 2 like go-to skill guys and stuff like that, but it's been, I would say, probably 2010, 10, something like that, and we were 6A, and we had that. But even like that, the 2010 team we had pretty good ones with Markel and Julius and those guys. But the 09 team was probably one of the most talented. I mean, we had a mile relay team that played defense that went to state. So I mean, we were huge up front with Herbert and Braulio and all those guys. So. But I haven't seen something. This is the first time I've seen something similar to that.
Since that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we're excited. It's football season. It's cross country season. Tennis season has already picked up, and of course, water polo. We are very, very much excited for the fall athletics here at Southwest SWISD. Any last words from yourself? I mean, anything that you wanna throw out to the audience?
No, not anymore.
You're not. Listen, don't worry about the time. You're good. We had our little side bet. I told you we were going over.
Yeah, and you made it happen.
There we go.
Now I know. I just want everybody to know that it should have been about 22 minutes.
No, that's not true.
And so
that's not true. That's not true. Well, we appreciate you joining us for this 24-minute episode.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Continue to share the show. You can find it everywhere you can listen to podcasts: Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon. Anywhere like that. So continue to check out Scoreboard and tune in with us. We have one every single week for you all. So thank you so much. For Peter Wagner, I am Brandon Medina. This is Scoreboard. And as always, we are
Southwest.
3, 2, 1.